man of Ramatham Zophim of the mountains of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zoph, and Ephraimite. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Now this man went up, and this man Elkanah went up from his city yearly to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. So he left his city, went to Shiloh. Also the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. And whenever the time came for Elkanah to make an offering, he would give portions to Peninnah, his wife, and to all of her sons and daughters. But to Hannah, he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah, although the Lord had closed her womb. And her rival also provoked her severely to make her miserable, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it was, year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, that she provoked her. Peninnah provoked Hannah. And therefore, Hannah wept and did not eat. Then Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? And why is your heart grieved? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? So Hannah rose after they had finished eating and drinking in Shiloh. Now Eli the priest was sitting on the seat by the doorpost of the tabernacle of the Lord, and she was in bitterness of soul and prayed to the Lord and wept in anguish. Then she made a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your maidservant and remember me and not forget your maidservant, but will give your maidservant a male child, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. And it happened as she continued praying before the Lord that Eli watched her mouth. And verse 13a, now Hannah spoke in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. So just to go through this and then to see where we can see that Hannah, as we look through the scripture, if this is a good cry or not. We're going to let the scripture, just based on what the 4 indicators of a good cry that we pointed out, the question I pose to you all tonight is this a good cry? Hannah's cry. Is it a good cry? All right? Knowing that is it real? Is it reverent? Is it relational? Is it remembering, reflective? All right? So first thing is, this chapter starts off with just telling you who this family is. And sometimes I'm a little reluctant with going through the lineage and the names. First of all, because sometimes they can be very difficult to pronounce. But there's one thing here, and I didn't want to, as I'm learning to be more of a Bible student, thank God for our bishop and our pastor, and how they're continuing to train us, that there is some important information here that adds to Hannah's story. And it is who Elkanah is. And he is a descendant of Joseph. And one of Joseph's sons, we know, is Ephraim. And Ephraim, the name itself, means to be fruitful. Double fruit. And so, knowing that this is the name, this is the house in which I am in, I'm married into this house, just by name, I am supposed to be fruitful. And so, Hannah is not. That to me was so relevant to me that God, there are certain things I may feel that bring me anguish because just by me calling myself, knowing that I am a Christian, there are certain things that I should be bringing forth. And when I don't see those things coming to pass, that can be disappointing. It can sadden me. What adds salt to the wound is if I can look over and see somebody else, being exactly what my name alone tells me I should be. And so, in this, knowing Aunt Hannah, and just knowing by her name of who she should be, and not being fruitful, what pain, what anguish that can cause. And we see that in this first verse in 1 Samuel. And also, as they went, we see that this isn't just 1 year she's not fruitful. 2 years she's not fruitful. But year after year, this is playing like a broken record that each year Elkanah gathers his family, as is customary for Israel, as is the Deuteronomy, the law, that they would leave their home, they would go to the place of worship, they would journey there. He would have to gather all of his family. Hannah gathering doesn't take long because it's just her, but Peninnah has to gather her children, has to gather her sons, she has to gather her daughters, and they all are traveling together. First of all, that traveling, what a lonely place that can be, even though she's a family here, but who does she have that she's carrying along? But Peninnah has children that she's carrying along, and they're going to this place, to the house of worship, which they do every year. And when they get there, it tells us that, again, we're just building here on why the anguish, or really so we can understand what is happening with Hannah and why she feels the way she feels. I feel you, sister. I feel you on this. And when they get there, as in keeping with the custom, the head of the household taking the sacrifice, and it is to be eaten and shared among the family. So as he's passing it out, you see, Peninnah, her children, they get a portion, you get a portion, you get a portion, and then Hannah gets a portion. But everyone gets to see this, right? So Peninnah and her children see that they're getting this portion, they're getting this portion. But when it comes to Hannah, who hasn't produced or done anything for the family, she's getting double portion. So again, this is to be seen by all. So Peninnah feels some kind of way about that. Like, I'm the one doing all the work over here. I'm the one producing children, offspring, but yet y'all know how that conversation was. I'm just helping to set the stage. Now, she can't even birth a baby, but yet she gets double a portion? How is that equal? How is that fair? But that's because favor ain't fair. And he and Elkanah loved Hannah. And so that didn't have anything to do with Hannah, because in Hannah's eyes, what is she doing? How is she producing? Oh, but God, but God, but God. So as Christians, when we see and we've tried to start measuring things of what we should be producing or how we should be acting, one thing she was faithful. She followed her husband each year, even though she didn't have an offspring. She went up to she was obedient. And so it is with us. If we just continue to follow the Lord and do as he has